Greetings, everybody. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing? Welcome, everybody. Kindly power tap your screen and share the live. Invite your friends. Welcome to Real Estate Investment Workshop. Going forward, twice a month, we will have the Real Estate Investment Workshop. And, the second Sunday of the month and the last Sunday of the month, we would have the Real Estate Investment Workshop for just about 1 hour. Just to help sensitize the public, most especially the interested public, those who are interested in, the subjects of wealth building through real estate, right? For those of you who don't know, I've been in the real estate industry since 2019. It's been 7 years and counting. I've been able to help dozens of individuals, more than 100 individuals, organizations, and families to either kickstart their real estate investment journey or help take it to the next level. So welcome. It's pretty important that we all get a notepad and a pen. Kindly get a notepad and a pen, okay? So that if any question drops in your mind, you write it down. Because there's going to be question and answer at the end of this 1 hour broadcast, but I'm only going to be answering the questions on TikTok. So even if you are, joining from Instagram right now, or you're joining from LinkedIn or YouTube, as the questions pop up, write them down so that you can join me on TikTok. Because the moment I'm done with the workshop, I'm going to end the live on Instagram, um, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and then people can come over to TikTok, or those who are on TikTok can get to ask their questions. So get your notepad and a pen. Now, it's pretty important for anyone who is interested in powering a life of impact, anyone who is interested in building a life that their children and grandchildren will be proud of. It is pretty important for them to see life as a game. Okay? Life is a game, and it's a game of investing, right? The most quality and the most sophisticated life you would ever live is the life of investing, the life that is powered by high quality investing, right? And real estate is very important in the game of investing, right? Real estate is very important to every right thinking human. If you are interested in powering a life of impact, then real estate is important to you, irrespective of your profession, irrespective of what you do, whether you are an engineer, civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, software engineer, AI engineer, a lawyer, right, a teacher, an educator, an accountant, a public administrator, a politician, right? It doesn't matter what you are. Real estate is important to you. If it is not important to you, then it simply means that you are not yet aware of what it's about. You see, the people whose most go-to platform for information consumption is gossip blogs, skit makers, right? Crap entertainers, fake and useless news platforms would never build wealth in their lifetime. Whether you like it or not, there is no human who doesn't consume information. In the 21st century, there is no single human being, including toddlers, who doesn't consume information. But you see, the kind of information that you consume is what's going to determine if you are legacy conscious or not. The kind of information I'm going to be sharing in this workshop is strictly reserved for folks who are legacy conscious, folks who are interested in engineering impact, transgenerational impact, transgenerational legacy. And, if the kind of content you consume the most are not legacy conscious content, impact driven content, then it simply means that you're not interested in building wealth. Right? You're not interested in building wealth. Are you aware that life is warfare? Everything about life is warfare. Everything. If you are going to build a life of sustainable progress, you must learn about the universal principles of warfare. If you don't, I promise you that you are eventually going to become a casualty of war. Life is warfare. Everything about life is warfare. Right? And if you agree that life is warfare, then it's important for you to start asking the right questions. What do I need to operate effectively within a war zone? Who do I need to become in order for me to operate effectively and not end up becoming a casualty of war and not end up becoming a victim of war? What do I need to become? Or who do I need to become? I need to become a warrior. I need to become a warrior. If I don't become a warrior, then it simply means that I'm setting myself up to become a casualty of war. See, even in times of war, the subject of economics stays alive. Life is warfare. Even during war times, the subject of economics stays alive. And guess what? During wartime, or during war times, the subject of economics is not staying alive for everybody. Make no mistakes about it. It is only alive for those who are prepared and positioned for warfare, for war times. Because the people who are going to be supplying all the weapons of war, they are making money during wartime. Right? And you see, it's pretty important for you to understand that economics is about, warfare is about economics. Warfare is first about economics. As a matter of fact, it's only about economics. Warfare is equal to economics. Warfare is about economics. Kindly power tap your screen and share this live. I see you guys are not power tapping. Please share this live with like-minded people, people who take the subject of economics, the subject of wealth building, the subject of impact building seriously. Kindly share it with them and invite them. Right? Warfare is equal to economics. even if military is involved, it is to guarantee economic season. Because nowadays they don't even need military anymore per se to run economic warfare on you. All they need now is technology. Right? When we talk about investing, understand that we are talking about you adopting the principles of warfare. Right? Because see, every economy, also should I say every war has economic undertow. There is no warfare that doesn't have some kind of economic undertow. Right? This is real estate investment education. Investment education. If you want to tick the box or the boxes of the important things in your life that you have been able to accomplish so far, would you be able to tick the box of real estate investment education or investment education generally? Would you? Because if your investment intelligence is not on point, if you are investment illiterate, you are never going to be able to build transgenerational wealth. It won't happen. When we talk about real estate investment education, it's about committing to wealth. It's about commitment to wealth. Commit to wealth. Realizing that every individual, every human is a potential wealth creator. Every human on the planet. But not up to 10%, not up to 5% of the people on the planet actually come around to generating real wealth. Not because they could not generate wealth, but because they never paid attention to it. They never subjected themselves to wealth building education. That's the only reason. Right? Understand? See, somebody asked me recently that do I have insurance? Do I have insurance? And I told the person no. Because real estate is the best insurance in the world. I have real estate. I have real estate properties. I don't need any other insurance. A lot of insurance brokers have reached out to me. Hey, I'm like, you don't know my philosophy of in life. Real estate is the best insurance policy on the planet. The real estate portfolio that is structured properly is the best insurance policy in the world. Go and check all those insurance companies. What are they doing with those insurance money that they're collecting? They're putting it in real estate. And I'm aware. So why should I be behaving like the blind being led by the blind? Why? I'm already in real estate. The very place you're going to bring the money into. So I should now do a merry-go-round by taking my money to insurance only for them to bring it to real estate. Right? When you invest in real estate, you know what you are investing in. It's tangible. Right? Except you have gotten yourself entangled with fraudsters. When you deal with the real stakeholders in the real estate industry, you know that you are investing in something tangible. You have bought something. That's real estate. Right? The real estate investment education is about generational wealth building. Generational wealth building. See, I don't know anybody. I don't know anyone in my family who had up to 50% of the data I have about real estate investment and generational wealth building. Meaning that it was not them. It was not my family members that taught me about wealth. It wasn't them. This was something I had to figure out on my holistic discovery journey. Because as a child, first of all, I became an orphan very early. I lost my mom when I was 1 year old. I lost my dad when I was 7. And even at that, I never lived with my dad. I lived with my eldest sister and her husband. It was even after the death of my father that I was informed that that was my father. Right? So biologically, I didn't have any parents who taught me about wealth or introduced the concept of wealth. And my adoptive parents also did not teach me about wealth. They couldn't because they didn't really understand it. Right? Why am I saying that? I'm saying that the onus is on you as an adult, even if the first 2 decades of your life, from age 0 to age 20, nobody in your family introduced you to wealth. From 21, it is now on you. The onus is now on you to proactively set sail on your real estate education, investment or wealth building education journey. Right? I do it for generational wealth. I am in real estate for generational wealth building. Right? Understand that one of your most important jobs on the planet is to learn how to create wealth. And as a matter of fact, nothing is more important. One of the most important jobs you have in your lifetime is to learn how to create wealth. If you don't, nobody is going to learn it for you. And until you learn it, you are not going to be able to deploy it. Now, when it comes to investing, there are basically like 4 categories of investors. There are more, but I typically just work with 4 types of investors. Number 1, no money. The people who don't have money. They don't have money, they don't have access to credit. That's the first set of investors. And this is one reason why I tell people that, see, if one of the reasons why you are not paying attention to the subject of investing, to subject of wealth building, is that, oh, you came from poverty, or that you don't have any money, you are your greatest enemy. Because someone like me, when I came into the real estate industry in 2019, I had of over 3 million. So I even came into the industry in debt. How much more somebody whose problem is just that they don't have money? That's just 0. Mine was negative 3 million plus. Mine is worse than somebody who doesn't have money. Or mine was worse than somebody who doesn't have money. So the first category of investors are people who don't have money. So know that even if you feel you don't have money, you are still an investor. It's just that it is the base category, right? The second category are those who have some kind of money. Some kind of money. Maybe 1 million naira, maybe 2 million, maybe 3 million naira, right? And it could be higher than that, it could be lower than that, right? The third category are those who have money and they are looking for those to co-invest with. Let me say co-investors. Those are the third category of investors, right? And the fourth are the heavy investors. Heavy investors. So whether you don't have money or you have some some kind of money, or you have enough money that you want to co-invest with other people, or you have huge money. Those are basically the four categories of investors. So anywhere you fall in, identify your level. But whatever the level, you're an investor, and you can forge a trajectory that will lead you to real asset portfolio building. Right? See, now let me break down the different kinds of economic levels there are. These are types of investors, right? No money, some kind of money, co-investor, heavy investor. Now let's break down the different economic status that people fall in. I'll be looking at just nine of them. Right? Economic levels, types of economic levels. Number one is poor and barely surviving. Poor and barely surviving. Right? I call this adaptive poverty. Adaptive poverty. As the first level. That's the first economic level. Number two is financially struggling. Financially struggling. This is survival mode. Survival mode. Nothing wrong in it, right? A lot of people in this level, they are suffering the disease of instant gratification. Instant gratification. This is the level where you begin to learn what is called temperance, delayed gratification. Right? The disease of instant gratification. That's the second level, financial struggle. The third level is financially stable. Financially stable. Right? You are able to cater to your basic needs. Right? And maybe you have some kind of extra, extra cash to do some extra things every now and then, right? That's financially stable. And also, instant gratification disease affects people in this level. The fourth level is plotting your economic and financial freedom. Plotting your economic and financial freedom. This is the point where you have joined an investment club, right? Where you join an investment club. An investment club like Circle of Investors Africa. Right? The fourth economic level is where you are now able to have enough headspace to begin to plan and plot your economic and financial freedom. Right? Now, the fifth level is what I call making the moves. This is when you are now acquiring properties. You now have the education and the insight to move certain needles when it comes to asset portfolio building, asset acquisition, when it comes to buying properties and things of that nature. You are now making the moves. This is the fifth economic level. Maybe you buy your first plot of land or your first couple of plots of land. Maybe you co-invest with 20 other people who want to buy an apartment unit in Lekki Phase 1. It's going for maybe 350 million naira. And you contributed 40 million or you contributed 50 million. And 7 other people contributed 50 million each and whatever. You are making the moves. The actual moves. The sixth level is seeing the results. Seeing the results. This is where you have now started seeing the result of the moves you've been making. Right? The seventh level is when you arrive at economic and financial independence. Economic and financial independence. Eighth level is making bigger moves. Making bigger moves. And then ninth level is economic and financial freedom. These are the economic levels that I use to power my life. Once upon a time, I would say I was at level 1, then I moved to level 2, then I moved to level 3, then I moved to level 4, then I moved to level 5. I think I'm at level between levels. I'm at level 6. I can't say I'm at level 7 yet. I'm at level 6. You must find your own level because you can't be emotional about these levels. You can't be saying that you want to fate your way to any level. You can't say that. It will never happen. I'm sure that there are people you have known for 3 decades, 4 decades, who have been poor, all the times that you have known them. That's to tell you that it is possible for a person to be poor for a very long time. Right? So do a screenshot of this. These are the levels. Level 1, poor and barely surviving. Level 2, financially struggling. Level 3, financially stable. Level 4, plotting your economic and financial freedom. Level 5, making the moves. Level 6, seeing the results. Level 7, economic and financial independence. Level 8, making bigger moves. Level 9, economic and financial freedom. When I meet any adult, I want to run them through the economic level. I want to ascertain what economic level they currently operate from. Because I don't have time interfacing with people who are not taking their economic and financial freedom serious. Folks who are not taking their economic and financial destiny serious. I don't have time to interface with such people. Right? It is wealth building or real estate investment education is for the purpose of eventually becoming a strategic wealth builder. That is what it's about. Strategic wealth building. In our club, Circle of Investors Africa, what we do with our members is to turn them into sophisticated wealth builders, sophisticated investors. Right? It is about strategic wealth building, becoming a strategic wealth builder. Strategic wealth building. Right? See, if you were not introduced to the concept of wealth building within the first 2 decades of your life, from age 0 to 20, then know that you need to double up because it's really going to be very, very tough on your mind. If in the first 2 decades that constituted your formative years, you are not interested to wealth or wealth building, it will be tough for you in your 20s and in your 30s. It's going to be tougher if you were now you were only being introduced to wealth or wealth building in your 30s. It's going to be pretty tough, right? Investment consciousness has to be something you must proactively develop, pay attention to, right? Because if you don't proactively pay attention to it, it's going to be way more difficult for you to navigate your way to economic and financial independence, let alone freedom, right? When it comes to investing, there are tools of investing. There are natural tools of investing. Your number one tool of investing is your unique talents and ideas. Your unique talents and ideas. Because a lot of people were not raised in an environment of economic and financial literacy. They don't know to place a premium on their unique ideas, on their talents. So, one of your first natural tool of investment is actually your unique talents and ideas. Second is your skill sets. Your skill sets. That's why I said that one of the types of investors are people who don't have any money. You don't have money, but you have skills. You can begin to proactively chart your path to wealth. Number three is your family. These are the tools of investing that a lot of people have not been taught to proactively leverage, right? Your family. Number four is your job. I see people demonize their jobs. You see motivational speakers. Job means just over broke. A job or salary is the money you are paid to forget your dream. I feel sorry for poor people's children who are listening to those crap. Okay, somebody from another family sacrificed all the sacrificables to create a company, to create a business, just so you can have a job. Your own family did not create that job, but someone from another family created that job. You are still shitting on it because they've not been educated appropriately. They have not been orientated properly. That's why they'll be listening to motivational speakers talking trash. Right? Your job is a tool of investing, irrespective of what it is. So for as long as income is generated from that job, is a tool. Number five, your business. Right? I mean, this is self-explanatory. Generating revenue and income from your business, a fraction of it should go into investing, right? Your friends, number six. There's a concept I've introduced to everyone I've had to do anything with. My students, my clients, my mentees, my apprentices, everyone I've had to do anything with, I've introduced a concept to them. I call it contact audit. Right? Contact audit, relationship audit. If you say you have friends and the only thing you guys discuss is Arsenal match, see Ronaldo, merciless mercy, if those are the things you discuss, and then the ladies you are sleeping with or the guys you are sleeping with, how hot the guy you are currently sleeping with is, or how hot the lady you're currently having sex with, if that's the only thing you discuss with your friends, then you need to change friends. Because you need the kind of friends that can be tools of investing. Me, I don't mean what when it comes to all these things. I don't. If you don't like it, just go your way. I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. And the mission is more important to me than anything. If I have friends who are not in alignment with my mission, what are they doing? What am I doing with that? Right? Are you also aware that your neighbors are part of the tools of investing? Your neighbors. Then finally, your network. Most people in this world have not been trained on real network marketing. The only network marketing they know is, when you come in, you bring two people, and the two people will bring two people, that's all they know. MLM, multi-level marketing. Nothing wrong in that, or nothing wrong with that. But the network I'm talking about is the one organically engineered by you, or by you and others. Right? See, your goal when it comes to paying attention to investing, real estate investing, your goal is to be able to create generational wealth. And when we talk about generational wealth, we're talking about first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, etc. You want to ask yourself, or you want to challenge yourself, how many generations after me can still feel the impact of my wealth, feel the impact of the wealth I built in my own lifetime? How many generations after me? These are some of the questions you get to ask yourself if you are truly interested in generational wealth. Right? Now, let's look at some of the principles, universal principles of investing. Right? Universal principles of investing. Did you notice that this board feels very easy now? It's because there was none on it. It was just like investing principles. Investing principles. Number one, you need an investment vision. Investment vision. Without a vision, you're not going anywhere. It's guaranteed. Number two is investment planning. You need a plan. Number three, investment strategies. See, when I look at certain people who don't know the kind of plans I have, I feel sorry for them. I just shake my head for them, because I don't try to impress. I don't try to prove a point to anybody. It was in the days when I was still naive and ignorant about the architecture of power, or the nature of power, that I would be trying to prove anything to anybody. It's okay. I prefer to be misunderstood. I prefer to be underestimated. Right? Investment strategies is number three. Number four is learning what I call the doubles game. The doubles game. You need to master the doubles game. I have 1 million naira right now. How long is it going to take for me to take it to 2 million, to double it? I have 35 million naira right now. How long is it going to take me to get it to 70 million? I have 50 million right now. How long is it going to take me to get it to 100 million? What strategies do I need to deploy? How long? The doubles game, right? Number five, these are investment principles. Due diligence. A lot of people have lost money. A lot of people have lost money because they were never introduced to the science of due diligence, because it's a science. It's not guesswork. You can't do all of the things that you did to get the money that you got, and then you are gambling with it by saying, "Oh, okay, my schoolmates said something that there's something to invest in. Your family member said there's something to invest in, and you didn't do any due diligence." Due diligence is a very, very important investment principle. Number six is cash investment. Cash investment. Your money should not be sitting in the bank. What is your money doing in the bank? Do you know that the majority of the money that people deposit in their bank accounts is actually used for real estate investing by the banks? Why should you have 5 million sitting in your bank? 2 million naira. Why? What is he doing there? 10 million naira sitting in your bank account. What is he doing there? Right? There is such a thing as cash investing, where you can invest anything from 1 million naira for 12 months and you get anything from 40 to 45% return on investment. Which, I mean, I literally can tell you dozens of rich people that I know personally who do this regularly. It's almost like a standard thing that they do year on year. Cash investment. Number 7 is land banking. These are universal investment principles. Land banking. I was talking to one of the members of one of our newest members of the Circle of Investors Africa. I had a private session with her today, and I was explaining something to her about the strategy behind picking how to invest in lands. You start from your national identity. Okay, I'm in Nigeria, right? I want to kickstart my investment journey, right? What is the hottest investment geographic Nigeria? That's the question. It's not a function of your tribe. Investment is no respect of your tribe. For those of you who have heard about the new Lagos project, right? There is Lekki Deep Sea Ports in Lekki Ekpe Corridor. There is Dangote Refinery. There is the proposed Lekki International Airport. There is the Film City. There is the Agro City. There are different amenities. There is the Lagos Calabar Highway, Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway. You are to look at those government backed infrastructures and find out available properties not further than 5-kilometer radius from those infrastructures. That is part of how you determine how to invest. I'm just trying to explain land banking, right? Rental income. This is you having a piece of real estate property and then you are generating rents. You are generating rent from it, right? Number 9 is joint investing. Joint investing or fractional investing or syndicate investing, whichever one you want to call it, where you pool funds together to buy property in fast emerging neighborhoods. One of the gold mines of real estate investing is identifying the fastest growing neighborhoods, the fastest emerging neighborhoods, and invest in that neighborhood. Not the one that has already reached the neighborhood that has already reached its peak in terms of return on investment. As at 7654 years ago, even up until last year, the Ibeto-Lekki Epe corridor was the sweetest investment spot in Nigeria. Right now, the window is already closed. Because as of last year, you could buy a plot of land in Epe for 15 million. Right now, it is 40 million, 50 million. Just less than in 12 months. We're talking about 300% return on investment in 12 months. That is how you understand the nuances of investing, real estate investing, right? Joint investing is number 9, right? Joint or fractional investing. See, the worst thing you can ever do for your unborn children is for you to be mentally, spiritually, economically, and geopolitically naive. That is the worst thing you can ever do for your unborn children. Now, if you gave birth to children in a position of mental, spiritual, economic and geopolitical naivety and illiteracy, then the next important thing is for you to get on your feet to pivot mental naivety, spiritual naivety, economic naivety, and geopolitical naivety, because you will never be able to build wealth, generational wealth, if you are spiritually naive or mentally naive or economically naive or geopolitically naive. Some of the things I've talked about is understanding geography, being in the know of what is happening in a particular geographical location, that you might be able to key into the opportunities in that geographical location. Right? This is where I'm going to be taking question and answer. For those of you on Instagram, if you have any question, come join me on TikTok, because we're going to be ending the live right now. The same handle, Ashio Ambassador TV. Search for me on TikTok, and then I can get to answer your question. For those of you on YouTube and LinkedIn, come meet me on TikTok for me to be able to answer your questions, right? If you have any questions and you're on any of those platforms, just come and meet me on TikTok. And for those of you on TikTok, if you have any question, you can send a request or you can ask it in the comment section. So bye-bye to you guys on